Hi and welcome chart artists to another day, to another episode. Please smash up the like, subscribe to the video for future updates. The first thing I want to tackle here is going back onto the daily time frame here for Bitcoin. Here from April 21 to May 21. You will see that Bitcoin made a high and then it made a lower high. So basically a corrective structure before we found continuation down, we consolidated and then we continued up with the bull market. What is so significant about this little area for me is when you go onto Ethereum during the same time period, also from April to May, you will see that Ethereum rampaged to the upside and went and go from the low to the high, 112, 113% to the upside. And why this is so significant for me is that you can go and compare this to the current price action we have right now, and could history rhyme or repeat? It's just very interesting to see that when Bitcoin dominance is potentially falling off a cliff, and we will go through that now, and Bitcoin makes a correction to the upside, you could still see an explosion in some of the alts like Ethereum and the ecosystem built around it. Please stay tuned, smash up the like, hit the subscribe for future notifications, and let's get right into it. So very interesting to note, lower high from Bitcoin and a massive rampage from Ethereum. So it's not to say that if Bitcoin is starting to correct down from here, that it's just going to drag the altcoins or Ethereum with it. There could still be momentum for some of the altcoins, especially when you look at Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so at the moment, looking here at Bitcoin dominance, it looks like a head and shoulder, a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and we could potentially come down here to the 50% mark of this entire range. When you draw a fib from the bottom to the top, you can see I have a target here at the 50%. Also, coincidentally, when you go and measure out basic rules of head and shoulder patterns, you take a trend line, you take it from the top to the bottom, and this is the potential move that is anticipated, and you can see that it is in confluence with this 50% fib level over here. So at the moment, we are finding some momentum here for Bitcoin dominance to the upside. Zooming in here onto the 1 hour, waiting for it to load up. Let's go. You can see that we have resistance, support. Okay, if we successfully break through here, flipping this resistance into support, we could see higher levels and the altcoins pulling back and bleeding while Bitcoin is potentially dropping. Losing this support over here could mean that we're going to find ourselves falling down here until we hit this 50% fib level, which is very bullish for the altcoins. So what you want to see from Bitcoin is either sideways momentum or a slow bleed to the downside, or potentially that lower high, or that lower high to the upside. Okay. First things first, before we dive into the price of Bitcoin and we analyze it together, let's go through a little bit of news and just see where's the market sentiment at. From a Twitter, formerly known Twitter, X perspective, people are still very bullish. Some still expecting the correction to the downside for then continuation, saying that we are in this parallel channel to the upside and we are just going to range in here until the end of the 2025 quarter four bull market. Okay, up next. Max writes, possible scenario for next few months, breakout, expansion, sideways, correction, only up from here. Okay, or only up, or up only. Okay, where we had the breakout, the expansion phase, and potentially we are just going to consolidate here sideways, which gives the altcoins that momentum to catch up. Perhaps this is Ethereum's time to shine. When Bitcoin consolidates up and down, that could give the altcoins that steam that they need, especially like Ethereum and the ecosystem built around Ethereum, to catch up to some of the alts like Rune and Solana that's run tremendously already. Still expecting a correction and then up only phase. Okay, so there's the breakout, the expansion, the sideways, the correction, and the up only. Stock Money Lizard writes, sometimes linear chart can help put things into perspective. So looking at the three last bull markets, where you can see we had breakout of trend and momentum to the upside, where the bull market started. Breakout, breakout. What I do see from all of these breakouts is we had a breakout, where my mouse is over here, we had a breakout and we had a correction. Then a move to the upside, also a breakout, retest, and a move to the upside. Are we still going to find momentum to the upside before the retest, or just straight line up from here? A healthy correction seems that it needs to be on the cards at some point, perhaps March. or Feb will be that time for the healthy correction, where we for now will see a little bit of sideways movements or that higher low that I've just pointed out. Then up next, ETH will likely run next, as ETH BTC is showing bullish diffs of the 1 week bouncing on a major support. Okay, so this seems to also be that trend that's now developing, where people are calling for an ETH pump before Bitcoin has the healthy correction to the downside. Okay, my bet is everyone who thinks ETH is dead is going to eat their words in the coming weeks. Best thing to do is to look for longs on any pullbacks. I tend to agree with the sentiment at the moment based on what technicals are telling me. And lastly, from a news perspective, altcoin season, and this is perhaps that, money that will rotate from Bitcoin into Ethereum, is to say that the last time we had an altcoin season, we had kind of a W formation. We broke out and we had to rampage to the upside, or momentum to the upside. Also W breakout, could we see momentum to the upside, and Bitcoin just needs to play ball. Okay, cool. So now let's dive into the price of Bitcoin. Go on to let me just redo all the scribble. Let's go on to the 1 hour and zoom into the current price action. Zooming into the current price action of Bitcoin, we are still inside of this little contracting diagonal that I've got over here, and this could potentially be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where we're now having an A, B, C correction to the downside, or continuation to the upside. Basically, a couple of scenarios that I'm watching here is to say that as per that daily time frame that I've just shown you, could we come, perhaps still consolidate here, take the liquidity here at the lows for that bounce up to make a lower high and give the altcoins that time to catch up. Okay, so this could be quite significant for altcoins, especially if Bitcoin dominance starts dropping from here. So one of the scenarios I am watching is to say, let's take the scribble out the way, is what if, let's look at liquidity at the moment. You can see that here on the 1 week time frame, on the liquidity heat map, let's just refresh it. We still have a lot of liquidity here at the bottom, but also significant liquidity on top, which seems to be drying out a little bit because more liquidity is building up at the bottom. The one thing that I am keeping in mind, that if this is a leading diagonal from an Elliott wave perspective, you could still, taking a fib from this little low to the high, we could still go back here to the 786, tapping this daily level here at the bottom to come and grab all of that liquidity, which is here at 41,800. Okay, if you go look at liquidity, where's all this liquidity lying? Let's zoom in a little bit just to make sure that we get the levels right. Okay, 41,800. So perhaps a move down is definitely on the cards, to say that looking at Bitcoin, we could have this little momentum down, grab all of that liquidity that's lying here in this area, and then find continuation to the upside. And perhaps it won't be a straight line, it will slowly creep up, making that lower high for the altcoins to potentially catch up during this move over here. We also have to keep a bearish momentum into consideration. So let's take the little scribble out the way and say, well, okay, if we do break here, what I would want to see for bearish momentum to continue is breaking through this daily level with high volume, consolidating below, taking the liquidity below this low, and potentially bouncing in this area. We also have another weekly and a daily level over here, and a major point of control. And we'll just have to observe the price reaction. If we do come down here, how do we react at these levels, which we also have a 1.618, a naked weekly daily level, and further down the major point of control. So we could perhaps have that momentum down where we either find support in here for momentum to the upside, perhaps a retest of the scene of the crime for continuation to the downside, and then have the corrective structure to the upside. Okay, still coming to claim the liquidity above. Okay, let's dive into some of the altcoins. First on the list, Solana. I've been tracking this momentum here, as you can see, for quite some time. It's taken a while for Solana to actually come back to this trend and start breaking it. You can see that I've been playing the breakout strategy for quite some time here. I still have my trend lines over here, and now we have this big trend line with the momentum where, also up to the price of Bitcoin, is to say that we are chopping in and out of this little trend over here, and possible load up zones, taking a flip from the low to the high. 618 already tapped, So perhaps here by the 382, 50% good load up areas, anticipating the break to the upside for Solana. So Solana not looking bad at the moment. Bitcoin just has to play ball. If Bitcoin does have a little bit of a drop, we could still expect continuation for Solana. What I don't want to see is, you really want to see Solana hold the golden pocket area over here, okay, which is also the support from this area. Okay, I don't really want to see us tap the 0.88, because probabilities then increase that any move to the upside is then corrective and not impulsive. So potentially from a bearish perspective, great load up zone 618, 786 for then continuation to the upside. DOT has been consolidating for quite a while, currently breaking down, and it looks like it's losing the support and flipping this into the resistance. Okay, keeping an eye on this downsloping trend, I would be interested to see, well, what happens if we break. Okay, grabbing my pen, I want to see us potentially break the trend and flip this support or this resistance then back into support for continuation to the upside. And then we have our resistance, our resistance, our resistance. So you want to see Solana, DOT, climb the stairs, break through, flip it into support, break through, flip it into support, and so on. Okay, climbing the stairs up, and usually you jump out the window when the price goes down. Jump out the window and then you climb the stairs up. Okay, it's amazing how that happens in crypto, where altcoins or any correction usually is a lot quicker and more aggressive than the momentum to the upside. CRV, I've been tracking this coin, one of my favorites at the moment. I've got a spot bag in CRV and I'm adding to any little dip here at the moment. As always, and I think I've highlighted this in all my videos, is from a daily perspective, looking really great from an accumulation perspective. Okay, zooming here into the smaller time frames, what I'm tracking over here is to say, where's my load up zones? Where do I add to my spot bags? So this looks like great accumulation. Great accumulation, expecting perhaps a week to grab the liquidity below this lows. I see this play out very often. You grab the liquidity and then you have the breakout to the upside. Okay, so definitely a great load up zone in this golden area, golden pocket area. HBAR also looking great. Been tracking this momentum to the downside. It looks like we broke through and we are currently retesting, and it makes risk management so much easier. Lastly, if you have not seen my video from yesterday where I discussed one of the best investment trading strategies for long-term hodlers, and I'll leave a link here somewhere to the left or to the right, and please go check it out. It will definitely help with a long-term investment strategy. What's next? So liquidity, let's look at CVD here at the moment. The CVD, what I can see over here is we made some nice bullish CVD. Okay, let me just grab the right tool over here. We made nice bullish CVD between the blue pivot over there and these two pivots, of which the target was this high over here, and we haven't gotten there yet. But then we got countered by bearish CVD, which I can see over here, bearish CVD, and then if you go down you will see, okay, bearish CVD, which is now countered the bullish CVD. So very interesting to see if we're going to find momentum down. At the moment I am still seeing bullish CVD building between this pivot and where we are now, bullish CVD. Higher low, lower low on CVD. So we'll just have to see how this play out, but for now it looks like bullish CVD has the upper hand. We'll just have to see how this plays out. That's basically it from our side. As always, please smash up the like. If you would love to support me and this channel to bring you more amazing analysis on a daily basis, please, to trade with me, sign up with any of these exchanges, Bybit, BingX, and Mexi. Also, if you'd like to protect your crypto, NordVPN's running a special. Please select this link. You can now get 64% off plus 3 months extra. It's your ways to show love towards the channel. Until the next update, cheers for now.